What's good? You are watching Gian Talk Sports, the NBA edition, and what an offseason it has been so far. July 1st was the beginning of the NBA free agency, but before then, we already had some crazy trades. Starting off with Chris Paul, CP3 to the Rockets. A lot of people out there are thinking this is going to elevate the Rockets to the number 2 seed in Houston. I'm not so sure. Number one, they got rid of all their depth. You know, they don't have enough money to sign anybody either to replace that depth. But the other issue is you're bringing another ball-centric guard to your team when you already had James Harden. I think the numbers were out there that Chris Paul led the league in holding onto the ball, and James Harden was number 2. So I'm interested in seeing how that dynamic's going to play out. But they're still not going to beat the Warriors. Not with those two. I think CP3 is a little bit past his prime. He's just not the kind of guy that's going to get you to the next level. I mean, the league has moved on. It's moved past from ball-centric ball players other than LeBron in the East. And we saw what happened to him in the finals. So who knows? The other big trade was Paul George to the OKC, looking like a 1-year rental. And a lot of people think, okay, well, you know, Russell Westbrook, you know, he had a terrible squad last year, blah, 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 whatever. I don't agree with that. I never did. But now they got Paul George, so he's going to be able to elevate him back to the KD levels. And I mean, let's be honest here. KD and Paul George, not the same guy. Not the same guy at all. And I'm not saying Paul George is a bad player. You know, others would disagree. Prodigy from being BTI. But I think, I mean, you could argue that Kevin Durant's the second best player in the NBA right behind LeBron, and he's not that far behind LeBron. So Paul George trying to fill in, they'll maybe win an extra 10 games, might be the 4th seed, but I don't see him getting past the second round of the playoffs if they get past the first. You know, it's just another thing. Russell Westbrook needs to change the way he plays. Way too ball-centric, way too selfish, doesn't hit enough shots either. You know, the reason why KD left was because he wasn't getting the ball enough with Westbrook there. So, I mean, what are you going to do? I don't know. It's an interesting trade, but I still, like I said before, I don't see it getting past the Warriors. The one trade that really interests me is Jimmy Butler to the Timberwolves. I haven't talked much about the Timberwolves in the past, but I really like their young core of Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. I like Ricky Rubio as well, but he's gone, as we all know. Traded to the Jazz. Jimmy Butler might be the guy that gets them to where they need to go. He's a great defensive player. He doesn't need the ball in his hand. He can score. He can rebound. KAT he's amazing. I think he's a great, you know, he's the next big thing. You know, 7-footer that can shoot threes. He can rebound, block shots, et cetera, et cetera. And then Andrew Wiggins is just a scorer. You know, I'm interested in seeing what they do, especially with Jeff Teague signing with them. So now they have a veteran point guard who can score a little bit when he needs to, but he can also pass. You know, he might not be the passing assist wizard that Ricky Rubio is, but I think it might actually be a better fit for the team because he can actually nail down shots, whereas Ricky Rubio was not so good from the perimeter. So I guess what I'm saying is look out for the T-Wolves. The few times they played the Warriors during the season, they gave them trouble. I know they beat them at least once. Because of their size, because of the athleticism, they're going to give the Warriors trouble. So it's something to look out for. Yeah, moving on. Oh, the guru, Phil Jackson, finally fired. I think that is going to end his run in the NBA. He's pushing 70. He doesn't want to coach anymore. He wants to be the GM. He's shown that he is not the best GM. I mean, drafting this French guy who I think he averaged like 8 points a game in the French league with the number 7 pick in the draft. That was the nail in the coffin for him. And then the rumors of trading Porzingis, like the only asset you have on the team, you know, Carmelo, nobody wants that guy. I think that the league has grown past Phil Jackson and the triangle, or, you know, many of his naysayers have always made the argument that the only reason why Phil Jackson was great is because he had a Michael Jordan, because he had a Shaq, because he had a Kobe to help him win those championships. So, you know, I don't know what to say. I mean, he definitely didn't have that talent on the Knicks. I think maybe he thought he bit off a little more than he could chew. Good luck to him in his retirement, the rest of his life, whatever he's going to do next. It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do next. You know, they're still a dumpster fire. So who knows? Good luck out there, Knicks fans. And finally, let's talk about the Warriors. Steph Curry just signed the largest contract in NBA history. KD signed for $10 million less than what he should have got because he wanted to stay with the Warriors in order for them to re-sign Iguodala and Sean Livingston. I don't know, man. I feel like that's another... no one's going to beat the Warriors for the next 2 or 3 years. I mean, it is what it is. There's too much firepower. They like to play with each other. You know, you got the best, the second best basketball player in the NBA. You got another top 10, possibly top 5 player in Curry. You still have Klay Thompson. I mean, he might leave after this year, but, I think that window's still open, and we got another dynasty on our hands that a lot of people think is bad for the NBA, but then, I don't know, during the 80s, it was the Lakers versus the Celtics almost every year in the finals, so, whatever. But there are people out there criticizing KD about him taking $10 million less to re-sign with the Warriors. Calling him a sellout, saying he's screwing over, the other NBA players by doing that. And I mean, I don't understand what the issue is. He likes playing in Golden State. He wants to win, so he's going to do what's best for his team. Not to mention, he's still making $53 million. You know what I mean? The guy's got more money than everybody, but than most of the league. I think who makes more than KD right now? I don't know. I mean, other than Steph and LeBron, not too many people. It's just one of those things like, okay, so he took $10 million less. Big deal. He's living somewhere he wants to live. He wants to be in California. He's playing with a team that he just won a championship with. Can you blame the guy? And he's hooking up, he's not taking away from other players because he's hooking up the other guys. Iguodala could have signed somewhere else for that same money, but Iggy didn't want to leave the Warriors. So he got the money he wanted and he stayed with the Warriors. Same thing goes for Livingston. He got the money he wanted. He stayed with the Warriors. I don't see that as a bad thing at all. I mean, yeah, you could make the argument that the owners are making way too much money and the owner could have, taken he could have taken the hit and paid the luxury tax, whatever. But, these things happen. It's a business, nowadays more than ever. Sports franchises weren't businesses before. They were toys. They're definitely businesses now. So, I mean, I can't blame the guy. I mean, like I said, he's going to make $53 million, and he's playing for the team he wants to play for in the state he wants to live in. So, almost forgot. Gordon Hayward goes to the Celtics. I still don't see him getting past the Cavs in the Eastern Conference. It sounds fun to talk about, but it's like really what he's a forward. He scores 20 points, he grabs 10 rebounds a game. Okay, that's good. I mean, it's another option in the Celtics, but we saw what the Celtics did without him. They got beaten 5 games easily by the Cavs. In fact, I think the Pacers put up more of a fight against the Cavs than the Celtics did. So, I mean, I guess it makes things interesting, but we'll see what they're going to do depth-wise to make up for the loss of Olenek and possibly Jay Crowder. Just don't, I don't think Gordon Hayward is the dynamic player that's going to put you over the edge like that. I think he's a good complementary player. He's a good number 2 on a team, possibly a number 3. Like, let's say LeBron wanted another guy, he would have been, actually then, he'd been Kevin Love 2.0, but, in another team, he would have been a nice 3rd option or a number 2 option, but I don't think he's going to do anything. They might win an extra 5 games this season. I don't think it takes them to the finals. I mean, possibly, I mean, there was rumors that they were trying to get him and Jimmy Butler. Obviously, that didn't work out. That would have been a little more interesting, But as it stands now, whatever. It's cute. I'm more interested in their rookie, Jason Tatum, to see how he's going to pan out in his first year in the league. I think he's going to be better than Lonzo Ball. I said it, Laker fan. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. If you like this video, there's a bunch of other videos we got. Check them out. The link's right up there. Yep, pointing to them. And we'll see you next time. Later.
Did you talk about Nick Young?
What the fuck would I talk about Nick Young?
He just got signed.
I know you guys, but he's a fucking nobody. He's a scrub.
Cool.
Exactly.
People